Welcome back to the channel. I'm Javi, and today we are doing part 3 of our quantum comparison series. So this would be stock number 4 in the comparison. So if you're interested in what stock it is, stick around and let's dive right in. Okay, let's jump right in. So this stock that I'm about to cover is already a huge company. They have been all over the news recently because they had some new innovations in quantum. Because the more they add or more connections they have to their quantum computers, the more accurate it becomes. So the big reveal, blah, 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 blah. The drum roll, please. Scroll it over here. And it is Alphabet. Alphabet or Google, as how some people know it. So we'll cover some of the announcements they made and we can compare it to what we already have on this Excel spreadsheet and see how it compares to these other companies. Beginning with qubit count, they have a qubit count of 105. That's pretty much in the middle of the pack. D-Wave has 5,000. That's one thing about qubit count as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have accurate computers. So you can have up to 1,000,000 qubits. Does that mean they're accurate? Not really. It's more about the quality of the qubits. So Alphabet, I would say they are developing some quality qubits right now. Their gate fidelity average is 99.91, highest in the pack right now in this pack in the Excel spreadsheet. And the way I got that number was getting their 1 quantum and 2 quantum gate fidelity averages and dividing it by 2, and that's how I got that number. But comparing what they actually put on their website, so 1 quantum gate fidelity is at 99.964% using the random circuit sampling as a test to see how fast their computers are. So far, IONQ is still the fastest. I do have to say that they are not using the same benchmarks to compare these numbers, so definitely take that number with a grain of salt. Next, we have the 2 quantum gate fidelity at 99.86%, which is one of the highest in this pack right now. Again, they use that random circuit sampling benchmark. IONQ is number 2, 99.6% is their fidelity percentage. Rigetti is at 98.5%. Rigetti did have some announcements as well recently, so we can potentially cover those on another video. D-Wave didn't even give us any values. I looked everywhere on their website, but I didn't see any values. If you can find them, let me know, and we can potentially update this Excel spreadsheet later on. Quantum volume, they're at 105. Scaling connectivity is what they call it. So they started with a 3x3 connections, and then they extended that to a 5x5, and then 7x7. So it was essentially a different weird connection that they're coming up with, but it's really working with them because the more they're adding, the more accurate their computers are becoming. Their error percentage rate, so I just used the numbers up top to calculate it. So for their most accurate computer at 99.96%, their error rate will be 0.036%. So that's actually really accurate. Next, it's for their 99.86%, their error rate would be 0.14%. Quantum advantage, I would say yes, because they are a huge company already with everything they're doing. And quantum, on top of that, could potentially make this company a lot bigger than any other company out there because quantum is going to be applied to basically everything in our lives. Even everything in nature right now is quantum, and that's how they even got the idea in the first place. Research and development investments, Alphabet invested 39.5 billion in 2022. Comparing that to the other companies that are investing just millions, so D-Wave 100 million, IONQ 382, and Rigetti at 19.7 million. So Google has been doing pretty well as far as like investing a lot of money into it. Patent activity, so this includes all the patents that they have, and they've had 24,144 globally. Active ones right now are at 17,572, and no longer active is 6,572. So that's partly why Alphabet is just huge right now. Some collaborations, I didn't really see any lists, that they provided on their website, but I know that they have a partnership with NVIDIA because they were using their EOS supercomputer. I know Elon Musk congratulated them, saying congratulations on the innovation. Coursera is for their education. So if you've never used Coursera before, you can take courses on there so you can learn about any topic. But Alphabet has a partnership with them so you can learn about quantum. Santa Barbara Research Facility, that's essentially where they're doing their research and manufacturing. Next, workforce strength. They have 182,502 employees. Market penetration, I would say high overall. Trailing 12-month revenue, 339 billion. Earnings per share growth, it's at 36.77. Actually, I need to switch that over to Rigetti because it's growing faster than Google as far as EPS growth. Let me scroll this over. I hate when that happens. PE trailing 12 month is at 24.56. Price to book 2.53%. So basically, Rigetti is basically closer to being undervalued compared to these other companies, even Google. Profit margin is at 30%, and all these other three are not doing that well as far as profit margin. Total debt to capital, IONQ actually has less debt than Alphabet. Alphabet is at 9% right now. And the type of quantum that they're doing a superconducting transmon qubits, which are tiny electrical circuits that exhibit quantum behavior at extremely low temperatures. Let me see. They are basically artificial atoms in a quantum state. So I misspelled all of that right there. Market capitalization, Google is 1.24 trillion. And the biggest one here is IONQ at 8 billion. Even with that, Alphabet is like 1,000 times bigger with these three combined. So Alphabet is a big company. Institutional ownership, Google is at 75%. The next highest would be D-Wave at 47%. Q3 earnings, their estimate and their actual. Google estimated 1.85, or the analyst estimated 1.85, but Google reported 2.12. Their price has been between 143. That's when I actually bought the stock, and it's currently at 195. The computer that they're working with is Willow. That's the name of it. And the other ones are listed right there for the other companies. Of course, their qubit connectivity. D-Wave was the other one that did this type of connectivity as well, as like in a modular way where they start connecting it. As mentioned earlier, they do the 3x3, they have the 5x5, and they're currently at the 7x7. Lastly, open for business since 2015. At least that's what's listed on Robinhood. I'll go to the website after this as well, so you can see that I didn't make up any of these numbers. And there's a video that they actually attached to their announcement, and I think that video is really great. And I'll attach it to this video as well, so you can watch it later on if you like. Looking at their websites, it starts off with Meet Willow, our state-of-the-art quantum chip. Scrolling down, you can see the chip here with the Willow to the right and the quantum Google AI logo as well to the left. You can listen to this article. That's actually cool. I haven't seen that on any websites before. So the first is that Willow can reduce errors exponentially as we scale up using more qubits. This cracks a key challenge in quantum error correction that the field has pursued for almost 30 plus years. Second, Willow performed a standard benchmark computation in under 5 minutes that will take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion. That is 1 with 25 zeros after it. That's how many years it will take. A number that will vastly exceeds the age of the universe. So that's really fast. So we could continue reading this article, but this is the video I wanted to attach at the very end because it pretty much has everything in this article and it has little animations and everything. So that's what I'll most likely end up doing. And after that video, I'll come back and do a summary of like comparison of the different quantum companies that we are comparing in this video. So make sure you stick around, and of course, we'll do a conclusion after that.
The systems behind our universe are quantum mechanical. They shift and change with the problems they're tasked to solve. exploring a vast array of options all at once. And like nature, quantum computing is responsive to the environments it works within, leading us to new breakthroughs for tomorrow's most challenging problems. Introducing our latest quantum computing chip, developed to learn and evolve like the natural world around us. Willow, from Google Quantum AI.
Hi, I'm Julian Kelly, Director of Hardware at Google Quantum AI. And today, on behalf of our amazing team, I'm proud to announce Willow. Willow is Google's newest and most powerful superconducting quantum computing chip, and the next step in our path towards building large-scale quantum computers and exploring their applications. I've been fascinated with quantum computing since I first experimented with qubits in 2008. And since coming to Google in 2015, it has been a dream to make our mission a reality, building quantum computers for otherwise unsolvable problems. We launched our first chip, Foxtail, in 2017, followed by Bristlecone in 2018, and Sycamore in 2019, which powered our milestone 1, the first quantum computer to surpass the best classical supercomputer on a computational task, random circuit sampling. Over the years with Sycamore, we have been able to squeeze a remarkable amount of performance from our hardware, including achieving a scalable logical qubit in our milestone 2. But we've ultimately been limited by quantum coherence times, the length of time qubits maintain their intended state. With Willow, we've made a huge step forward. We've increased quantum coherence times by a factor of 5, going from 20 microseconds in Sycamore to 100 microseconds in Willow. And we've accomplished this all without sacrificing any of the features that made our systems so successful. This advancement was enabled by our new dedicated superconducting quantum chip fabrication facility in Santa Barbara, one of only a few in the world. And we're seeing exciting developments coming from Willow, which has already surpassed Sycamore's breakthrough demonstrations. Our logical qubits now operate below the critical quantum error correction threshold, a long sought-after goal for the quantum computing field since the theory was discovered in the 90s. And we've achieved it for the first time with Willow. Errors are exponentially suppressed in our logical qubits, as error rates are halved each time we add physical qubits and scale from distance 3 to 5 to 7 surface codes. Additionally, our logical qubit lifetimes are now much longer than all of the lifetimes of the physical qubits that compose them. This means that even as we make our quantum chips larger and more complex by adding more qubits, we can use quantum error correction to actually improve their accuracy. We've pitted Willow against one of the world's most powerful supercomputers with the random circuit sampling benchmark. The results are pretty surprising. By our best estimates, a calculation that takes Willow under 5 minutes would take the fastest supercomputer 10 to the 25 years. That's a 1 with 25 zeros following it, or a timescale way longer than the age of the universe. This result highlights the exponentially growing gap between classical and quantum computation for certain applications. Let's talk about the hardware approach we've pioneered at Google Quantum AI that makes these things possible. Our tunable qubits and couplers enable super fast gates and operations to achieve low error rates, reconfigurability to optimize hardware in situ and run multiple applications, and high connectivity to efficiently express algorithms. We leverage this tunability to enable reproducible high performance across the device. Let me explain. A challenge in superconducting qubits is that not all of them are created equal. Some are outliers with uncharacteristically high errors. But here's where our tunable qubits really shine. We're able to fix these outlier qubits by reconfiguring them to perform in line with the rest of the device. And we can go one step further by having our researchers use tunability to continuously develop new calibration strategies that push errors down across all qubits with software. Let's quantify this and nerd out for a minute on quantum computer tech specs. We have number of qubits. Connectivity is the average number of interactions each qubit can perform with its neighbors. We quantify error probabilities for running simultaneous operations. Single qubit gates, 2 qubit gates, and measurement. Coherence time measures how long each qubit can retain its information. Measurement rate is how many computations we can run per second. And application performance is a full system benchmark. Willow hits a sweet spot across the full list. It has a large number of qubits with high connectivity and can run diverse applications. We measure low mean error rates across all operations with multiple native 2 qubit gates. We have greatly increased T1 times. We have very high measurement rates, and Willow is below the error correction threshold and performs random circuit sampling far beyond what is possible with classical computers. Looking to the future with Willow, we continue our journey towards building large-scale and useful error-corrected quantum computers that will push the boundaries of science and the exploration of nature. With future commercially useful applications in areas like pharmaceuticals, batteries, and fusion power, we are excited to solve the otherwise unsolvable problems of tomorrow.
Okay, so we're going to begin wrapping this information up. So as you can tell, Alphabet has a lot of green on it, but at the same time, they have a lot of other sectors that they're involved in. So they're not highly focused on quantum, or they're not a pure play quantum is what I was trying to say. Comparing that to these other three companies who are pure play quantum companies, they do have a lot more potential per se. If something does go right with their company, they could 10x much easier than Alphabet could, because Alphabet already has this growth on it. It's already $1 trillion. So in order to double the valuation of it, it will have to be $2 trillion. So that's just something to think about. I'm not saying that it can't happen. It can totally happen, especially with quantum and the new implications of it, new applications of it. It can more than double that, triple that. It can do a lot to Alphabet's price. So I am invested in pretty much all four now. I did buy D-Wave from part 2 after doing my research. It was a small portion though, so it wasn't a huge investment. Alphabet have always loved Google in general, so I've always had shares of it. Rigetti, I bought it at 99 cents, so I have like 1,400 shares at that time, and it's just kind of growing on its own. And IONQ, that is my favorite quantum stock because it is a pure play for quantum, and it is pretty accurate as well. As you can tell on its row and column, that it has some green on there as well, comparing that to Alphabet. So overall, I am buying quantum. I am mitigating my risk by staying between 1 to 3% of my overall portfolio. So don't over diversify into just one little speck of technology, because there's so much innovation that's happening right now. I do have 92 different stocks in my portfolio, so I am very diversified. I do own cryptocurrencies as well, real estate. So quantum is just a smaller portion of that. But thank you for watching. I hope to see you on the next one.